Now we are starting with the topic experimental design. In the previous class we have seen what is meant by a scientific experiment and what are the different types of experiment. Now we are discussing about what is the need, how we need to design an experiment. The designing of a scientific experiment generally represents the designing of all the informations regarding this experiment, and we are analyzing this gathered information about the experiment. So for an effective experiment, we need to design that experiment. What is the importance of the experiment or designing of that experiment? It will provide the gathering of all information and their proper analysis. So planning of this experiment generally possess some characteristic features. What are they? This is generally concerned with reducing the time resource. So the planning of experiment is generally taking place within a time period or time frame. So for completing this experiment, the time frame, we need to follow three different characteristics. What are they? Fixing a definite time period. Then planning, we need to plan that all these experimental activities has to be completed in this time bounded sequence or in this fixed time period. And after that the experiment is over, we need to select an appropriate analytical method for analyzing this experiment. So this is three important characteristic of an experimental design. We need to fix a definite time period. We need to plan a definite experimental activities to be completed in the time-bound manner. And we need to, after the experiment is over, we need to select an appropriate analytical method for completing this. Okay. So we need to follow some guidelines or principle for this experimental designs. So what are they? These are the 6 major principles or guidelines we need to follow for an experimental design. They are comparison, randomization, replication, blocking, orthogonality, and factorial experimentation. So let's move to the detail of each one. What is meant by comparison? As the name indicates, comparison generally involves comparison between or we have to make a relative analysis between an observed and an measured experimental result against a standard result. So we need to compare our result with a standard result. That is called a comparison. So for designing the experiment, we need to compare this. Then second one is called randomization. In the previous classes, in the one of the paper that I have taken in the environmental biology, where we have discussed what is meant by random sampling, right? So random sampling is nothing but we are grouping either selectively or non-selectively certain groups from the whole population, and this group generally called as a sample. What is the peculiarity of the sample? The sample will be the representation of the whole population. Okay, so the same methodology is generally used here also. Here this randomization includes the unplanned or non-selective grouping of the whole experimental sample by means of chance selection, and this by means of this chance selection we will get a simple sample size, and this sample size will provide the whole information about the sample or the population itself. That is called randomization. It involves unplanned and a non-selective group of the whole experimental sample. And this randomization is generally involves application of certain mathematical methods. They are called random access, random number table, and random variable. What is meant by random access? The random access involves organizing information. We are we are generally gathering information in a computer storage device, And the second one is called a random number table. Here we are selecting numbers from 0 to 9 and we are providing these numbers, that is in between 0 to 9, randomly to the population. Then called a random variable. Random variable means it is a quantity that can be taken from any of the unpredictable value. We are using different variables for the estimation and we are taking these variables in an unpredictable manner. So these three methods has to be used for an effective randomization method. Then called replication. We know that for getting an accurate and precise result, we need to replicate an experiment or repeat an experiment. And what is the purpose? Yes, it is mainly concerned with reducing the variation. So, experiment result has to be repeated for getting an accurate and precise value to our experiment. So, the multiple measurement of replicated items are necessary for estimating this variation. Then comes blocking. It's the arrangement of experimental group into similar units or similar groups. And what is the peculiarity of this? If we are arranging them into a similar units or groups, it will reduce variation and thereby ensuring the greater precision of the result. Then comes orthogonality. It is nothing but we are comparing our result with a scientific experiment. That is called orthogonality. Then factorial experiment. In factorial experiment, we need to use different factors or multifactorial experiment instead of a single factor at a time. For example, photosynthesis is nearly affected by means different factors like carbon dioxide, water and light. So all these factors is having an important role in this process. So this type of experiment is called a factorial experiment. So we need to use this also. So these are the different principles that we need to follow for an effective experimental design. Thank you.